Taurus, welcome to Blood Moon Oracle, Taurus. Today we are celebrating the new year by looking at the energies that are surrounding you, any advice or guidance Spirit has for you. Just taking a look at the inspiration, what's happening with you right now as we delve into the new year. I hope you all are well and experiencing the beautiful energy of renewal right now. That's what the new year is all about. It's about entering into new gateways of refreshing and renewal and time to begin again if we choose to. And so I did take the liberty, like, share, comment. Welcome to Blood Moon Oracle, my channel. If you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel, as it does help the channel to grow. And I would be so very appreciative of that, Taurus. So I did pull out cards just for the sake of time, learning and teaching. Intuition, which is actually a 22. It's a double number, which is actually heavy influence. And then we have 44 coming in with environment, which is another double number. So double numbers actually have a heavier, it's like a, what is the word I'm looking for? Like, it takes the influence of a number and it saturates it. It's compounded. And so the energy of the 44 is like a healer. It's a master number, a master energy. And it's a higher level of operation. Number 44 is healer energy. And 22 is actually a master builder, right? And so these life path numbers of 22, you could be a life path 22, you could be a life path 44 watching this, Taurus, that could resonate. But overall, what I'm seeing here is entering into this new year, the energy of teaching and learning. So you could be delving into relationships or situations where you're learning something. You've decided to go back to school, or on the other side of that, you've decided to offer services by teaching something, right? So it could be either side of that. But there's the energy of teaching and learning here, something new, and it could have something to do with your connections here. Intuition came out as well. I feel like Spirit is definitely leading you in towards yourself, towards trusting yourself. I don't know if you've been receiving nudges, messages. This actually has come out for, I believe, all three of my earth signs. So the earth signs may in fact be very in tuned, or being called to be very in tuned and connected internally, and trusting what you're feeling, trusting what you're hearing, trusting what you are seeing, Taurus, right now. The intuition is sticking out very heavily. If you are actually working on building something, this is being guided inwardly by your intuition and trusting what you are being guided to do as you're building. There's also some connection with your environment that's important. There's something about your environment that may lend to this energy coming in through your intuition, the need to pay attention to your environment. You could have definitely things that are showing up in your environment to give you information that's needed during any part of your process. Something about your environment that's very important. This could also be a time, 44 is talking about master healing energy, to go out into nature. It could be a call to get out into nature as you enter into this new year, just to kind of set it off on a good note. Many would say that how you start something is very important. It's more important than how you end it. Okay, and so I did pull out some tarot cards. I have the Four of Cups on the shadow side and the Hierophant on the shadow side as well. Just because it comes in on the shadow side doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that there are lessons that are being learned from this energy. Now, as we look at the Hierophant is all about, many times we're talking about faith, a belief. We're talking about structures, institutions. We could be talking about religion, some type of spiritual authority, or being in that position, right? Or having a connection with someone that's in that position. It came in on the shadow side, which could point to having like a one-track mind or a closed mind, being very picky about what you allow into your mind space, into your mental chamber. But it wouldn't be beneficial, because a closed mind many times not only can shut you off from growth and opportunities, but it could also lead to a level of disturbance, like having a closed mind. Because not only will you be closed to new opportunities or to see new things, many times you also close off to your own heart, to your own voice as well. So this could be needing to be open with the idea of learning new things or teaching new things, or some need to be open and release dogma, possibly. You know, as we grow and get older, we begin to learn and stand in a truth that may not be widely accepted. Maybe you've had experiences that take you further than what you've been taught. You know, it's being open to that and trusting yourself. That's why intuition could possibly be here. This is a need where you're going, Taurus. There's a need for you to step out into trusting yourself. And it's almost like being created in this vast universe, right? And, you know, having the idea that only this little small part is meant for you. The rest of the universe is irrelevant, because you are only, you know, intended to operate in this small little box. But it's allowing yourself to go beyond the lines that were created for you, so that you can actually understand, so that you can actually learn more, right? You could be the teacher that's teaching people to stretch outside of their own limitations or misguided ideas. This could have something to do with faith. It doesn't have to be. It could just be energy in life in general. And so there's a need possibly to allow yourself to see beyond something, some idea, some rule, some law. It's going to be beneficial in your growth. You may be trying to help someone else to see beyond, right? If you are the teacher in this situation. Now the Four of Cups also came in on the shadow side, which is that same energy. The Four of Cups is like being shut off. When it's on the shadow side, this is too closed off. On the light side, it's coming back into balance with yourself. But on the shadow side, it's taking it out of proportion. It's being too closed off, too focused on yourself, and having a stuck set of thought patterns. and just kind of ruminating or recycling the same thing, like being stuck in a cycle almost, I'm feeling like. And that in itself could like be tiring. Like, just imagine a machine just going forever in the same cycle. Eventually it wears out, it rusts out, you know. And so there's something here about that. The need to kind of reassess where you are or reassess a situation to see if it's actually restricting. Possibly even reassessing your relationships too, with clarity, with love, right? With simplicity, just to kind of see if it's actually restricting or if it's actually suited for you. There's something that's coming in that's going to be around lessons, around this, expanding our ability to see and experience things beyond our limitations, not being afraid to do that, okay? Also, I have the Nine of Cups on the light side and the King of Wands that came in on the shadow side. And so Nine of Cups is very beautiful energy. It's an abundance, right? Nine of Cups many times can be considered a wish fulfillment card, something that you've been praying for or asking for or desiring is actually going to be coming to you. Because the Nine of Cups is all about a very abundant energy, not lacking anything when it comes to health, when it comes to love, when it comes to spiritual things, mental things, emotional things, financial things. Like you have all that you need. And there's some level of fulfillment that you could be bringing in from work right now, Taurus. There's some level of completion that you'll feel as it pertains to work. And when we look at the energy of wealth, that's what's coming towards you. However you see that, right? That and more. Wealth is so much more than just money. So there could be things that you'll be experiencing as it pertains to wealth. There's some level of maturing and acceptance around what that means and what that feels like, and receiving that. How to receive that wealth is coming towards you, Taurus, in many ways than one. And this might be something that you're learning how to allow people to give to you. I don't know if you're usually the giver, but there's something here about learning how to receive things from people in order to give, right, in the right way. And sharing that energy. The Nine of Cups is very abundant. And so there's this energy of needing to actually become a source of inspiration and a resource for others, but there's a responsibility around staying balanced in that giving, okay? Now, the King of Wands is actually coming in on the shadow side, and this is holding yourself in, you know, a very high standard, maybe even asking a little bit too much of yourself. Or those that you could be trying to convince of something. It's being taken out of the reality of what things is, and possibly maybe even feeling like you know what's best, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's right or that it's ethical or it's appropriate for everybody. Right? This may be actually calling you, especially with the Nine of Cups, if you are being brought into a position of wealth and abundance, there's going to be a high level of responsibility around that. And so the King of Cups comes in to ask you to continuously Like, take a look at how you're measuring out, you know, how you're looking at things and making your decisions and making sure it's balanced when it comes to the outcomes, and making sure you're not utilizing this power of wealth, right, in an abusive way, right? Just being very responsible with what you're being given, Taurus. So if you are being brought into a position of wealth and power, because power comes with wealth, right? It's holding yourself to a high standard as it pertains to that, operating from that energy. So for some of you, you will be, you know, you'll have people coming to you for guidance. You'll be teaching, offering something here, and you'll be asked to actually hold yourself to a high standard as you stand in this position. Now, we also have the Queen of Swords that came in on the shadow side and the King of Cups on the shadow side. Lots of court energy coming out here, high level operation energy. This is mastery energy. Now, the Queen of Swords on the shadow side is, there's something that's possibly going to come up here. The Queen of Swords talks about an issue that arises that may in fact involve some type of emotional toil. This could possibly tempt you or cause you to fall off balance, right? The Queen of Swords is usually on point. She sees everything coming, nothing gets by her, but she's not really versed in emotionalism. So whatever this is, it's going to be something emotional that attempts to knock you off balance. Some situation that may arise here shortly, if it has not already, that requires you to stay in your critical thinking energy, in your rationality, to keep cool, to not be thrown into this emotional roller coaster energy. Because those are the things that will knock you off balance. Things like anger, frustration, haste, you know, anything that will make you move away from your higher self, you're being guided to guard against and be aware of. Not that it won't arise and you won't come face to face with it, but don't allow it to lead you. That's emotionalism. Keep your cool. Even if you have to wait till tomorrow to answer, because you know if you answer today, it's not going to be pretty, right? Wait till tomorrow to handle that situation. That's how you keep your cool and stay in control of the situation. It's allowing space, right? Especially if you feel heated about it. That may be a part of making sure you're not operating in an abusive way when it comes to your position, because there's some high level position that you'll have because of your ability to provide something or operate in a position of abundance with something that's going to place you in a high level or a high stature, Taurus, for some of you. And there's a lot of responsibility that comes with operating from that place. Because not only are you going to be providing and helping people, but along with helping people comes the people, right? You're dealing with schisms and isms that people are bringing in. And so it's difficult. Building a facility to help people is in idea such a wonderful thing, but operating in it is a whole nother ballgame, because now we are actually in the energy of helping people. When we talk about helping people, we're talking about issues. Issues. Are you ready for the issues? And you have to be healed. in order to help others. You have to be balanced in order to help others. You have to be rational and sane and not quickly flying off the, helm at everything that comes at you in order to help others. And so lastly, we're dealing with the King of Cups. Already still talking about that emotional balance, right? But it's coming in on the shadow side. So when the King of Cups is in his shadow element, it turns into, King of Cups is usually very emotionally balanced, very, unique, and the energy that the King of Cups carries, and very attractive, very different, very attuned with himself, very, positive. He sees himself very positively. But when that is on the shadow side, it could seep into not being sure of self. And so resorting to things like emotional manipulation, not really being forthright with what it is that's happening on the inside, but putting up a facade so people don't really see what's happening. This very deceptive energy, not only towards others, but even with self. And so the Queen of Swords actually on the shadow side is talking about not allowing yourself to delve or to sink into that energy, but operate in clarity. Be honest, be open, be transparent. That will fight anything that you might be feeling when it comes to not really, even in moments where we sink into imposter syndrome. It's like, well, who do you think you are? How do you feel like you can operate on this level and tell people? That's just imposter syndrome, right? That's trying to convince us out of where it is that we are so effective, right? But when that happens, right, it's good to be honest, to be open with yourself, and to deal with those shadow aspects that will arise. There's nothing we can do. That's just a part of our makeup, our shadow aspects. But there is a way that we can seek clarity as opposed to sinking into that very deceptive energy. We can seek clarity about what's happening. And, that's where intuition comes in. And, delve deep within ourselves, within our inner sight, our inner vision, and see where the limitations are showing up, right? See where the limitations are trying to creep up in our characterization, in our characteristics. And when we know, then we're able to actually combat it, or, take a different measure, or not allow it to control us, right? We can stay cool and just handle it, And so there could be, I feel like there's a heavy level of needing to stay emotionally balanced so that you don't seep into, shadow aspects. You don't allow the shadow aspects to overcome the challenges that will arise for you, Taurus. It really does feel to me overall like you are being lifted to a higher level of operation. And you know what they say, what comes with higher levels, right? With higher levels comes higher devils. And the devils aren't always outside of us. It is, but it's also within as well. Because everything that we're dealing with is really a reflection of what's happening within. When it really comes down to it, we're always being brought back to ourselves in one way or another, or to deal with some aspect of self, okay? And so this is really you learning how to actually operate on a higher frequency, trusting yourself there, learning, right? For some of you, you'll be teaching. It's about even having the right environment here, being surrounded with the right people and the right things. So we're going to grab a couple of cards for advice or guidance from Spirit. As we end your reading, Taurus, we're at 25 minutes. We have the Dream Walker, the Horse King, the Eyes of Beauty, and the Sister of Seasons. It's your time. Starting with the Sister of Seasons, this is a time where things are divinely being placed in order, and you could possibly be at the center of that. There's things that are turning in your favor right now. You possibly could have long time ago needed to be in this position. And now things are finally shifting to place you right where you always should have been. This is a cycle of things flourishing for you, cycle of growth. This is a cycle where you're actually reaping everything that you've sown. It's natural law that what we sow, we will also reap. And so this is divine order being set in place. You may in fact be pulling in things that have been long owed to you in this season. And right now, I feel like Spirit wants you to look through with the eyes of beauty. Look through a positive lens. Be intentional on setting your expectation on things positive and seeing things as clearly as possible. This is a time because a lot of times what we expect is what shows up for us. And when we understand that, it totally changes our experience. And so Spirit wants you to look at things from a perspective of positivity, if at all possible. Every time you look at something and you feel that shadow element creeping in, turn it around and twist that into a positive aspect. Look at that cup half full instead of half empty. Also a time of discipline and self-control and needing possibly some level of consistency with that. I don't know if some of you all are seeking guidance. You could be the learner and, seeking a teacher to help you hone and control your gifts and your talents and the things that you're looking to bring into fruition for this year. That might be beneficial. If you're not, to seek some level of guidance from someone that's able to help you hone in and develop a level of control around what it is that you're able to do. Every time I pull the Horse is King, I think of the Black Stallion, which is a very beautiful story. It's about a wild horse, a beautiful horse, and it's huge, but it's untamed. It holds a massive amount of the capacity of power, right? This horse, that's where we get the word horsepower. But the fact that it's untamed means that all this potential that this horse holds is not being utilized because the horse is wild, according to man's view, right? That's the beauty of the story. And so there's this man that tries to capture it and kind of tame it and teach it and train it so that the power that it holds can be harnessed and utilized. I don't know if that sounds, in a way, now that I look at it, it kind of sounds, but at the same time, it's talking about this level of power that you hold. And the fact that if you're able to hone it in and, develop the discipline around it necessary to actually hone that power and utilize it correctly, like we're talking about a powerhouse, right? And so this could be a time for you to seek assistance, right? And to actually hone in on different areas and even set good boundaries, implement self-control with certain areas of life. You may need assistance with this. That's okay. Spirit is saying, yeah, seek the help that you need, Taurus. For some of you, you could be having dreams. Spirit is asking you to tap into your dreams, you're dreaming, and the information that's being given to you for the dreams are actually going to be useful for the collective good. And the need to know the difference between the good and the bad, right? Some of the dreams are actually helping you to break through illusions. There's going to be information given to you through the dreams, Taurus, that's going to help you determine what's good and what's not, what's right and what's not. And so, yeah, listen to the dreams. Spirit is saying tap into your dreams, okay? That's what I have for you, Taurus. Thank you for stopping by to Blood Moon Oracle. If you have not, please consider subscribing. Also, like, share, comment. Let me know how it resonates, if it resonates. It is a general reading, so if you're looking for something a little more personal, go ahead and hit me up on my email or just schedule on my calendar. I'd love to talk with you. That's what I have for you, Taurus. I hope this new year has brought in beautiful energy that you can feel right off the bat that this is going to be good. Because it is. You know, there's so much, even that came out in this spread about you moving up to another level of experience, breaking outside of limitations, possibly that you've been held in willingly. And so I'm excited for you. Let me know how it resonates. I'm going to end it here. Thank you for stopping by. It's been a pleasure. Till next time, Taurus, take care.